Hello, 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 hello. Hello. The game's really loud in my ears. Gotta turn that down a little bit. That's also 50% that I had the settings saved from last time. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to more Tyrion Cuthbert. Turning of the Arcane. Last time, uh, a guy who hated mages was killed by a mage. The mage that made him hate mages. After all, we think. I think it's led to believe that that one aristocrat dude, the hot asshole. This is who I am. Take it or leave it, chat. This is who I am. I like assholes if they are attractive. This is who I am. You can't. Well, I mean, you could change me, but what's the point? Isn't it? Isn't it more fun if we all have character flaws that we associate ourselves with? So, yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. So this is our last, just normal stream of the year because next Tuesday starts Turnabout Christmas. And for those who are new in this community and are like, what the hell is Turnabout Christmas? Well, let me explain to you what what Turnabout Christmas is. It is just simply my lame ass excuse to replay Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney episode 4 Turnabout Goodbyes every year around Christmas time. It's my if people say Die Hard's a Christmas, it's the reason why I will agree with people when they say Die Hard's a Christmas movie, because if they say Die Hard's a Christmas movie just because it takes place on Christmas Eve, then I can say Turnabout Goodbye is the Phoenix Wright Christmas special in Ace Attorney because the murder takes place on Christmas Eve. Obviously. So yeah, that's basically that's what Turnabout Christmas is. It's a 3-day event where I take 3 days to take each day of the trial. If you were here at the beginning of the year, it's basically Turnabout Replay, but it's the same episode every year. And you don't have to raise any money for it. That's exactly just what Turnabout Christmas is. It's just some girl trying her best to have fun and play one episode so much that she could that at some point I'm gonna be able to recite Turnabout Christmas from memory. You could just be like, someone new playing Ace Attorney could just be like, oh man, I'm so stuck on this one. I'm so stuck on this one cross examination, and I'm like, can you give me one of the witnesses' statements? And then they would say it, be like, got it. And then I know exactly where that would be like ultimate goals. Anyways, we should not talk about Ace Attorney too much. This is an Ace Attorney. This is Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. All right, let's do this. All right, it's time for justice. Hello, Cuthbert. Oh, hi, Miss Tomia. You're a lot less jumpy than you were yesterday. I'm glad to see that you're finally getting used to things. So, what did you find in your investigation? You tell Miss Tomia about everything you learned over your investigation. There isn't a lot of clues that point to what actually happened. Yeah, I know a lot of details about the crime scene, but nothing about the crime itself. This means I'll have to rely solely on pointing out contradictions in witnesses' testimonies. Oh, fuck. Sorry, that. I'm hitting all the wrong buttons right here. Being reactive to the prosecution's move is a valid strategy. Honestly, I think it was a miracle that you got the commander to cooperate with you at all. Yep. Just totally had to just be like, just to. Right, you almost forgot. Commander White appears to have really out for it, Miss Tomria. Actually, I wanted to ask you about that. Did something happen between you and Commander White? Miss McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your counsel. Let's go, Tyrion. The trial's about to start. You should go. The judge is waiting. Right. Another secret left buried between you two. Secret Star will probably die to the grave. Go to her grave. Court is now in his room for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. Yesterday, the defendants presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation. Yes, I personally saw that the investigation was conducted properly this time. I see. I suppose that puts my mind at ease. At yesterday's trials, we found an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the observatory report. Because of this, the defense tried to push the following narrative. A third party must have interfered with the crime scene to frame the defendant. However, the prosecution discovered another explanation. Because of that, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. His eyewitness account will clear up what actually happened. Interesting. It's my understanding that the individual in question wanted to remain anonymous. Supposedly, this witness was within the gallery of yesterday's trial. After yesterday's proceedings, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer. So that's her plan. Why would the witness change his mind like that? Stealing persuasion? Maybe something else happened here. Very well. Let's hear from this witness. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Isn't that usually the thing the prosecution tells the... My name is Reginald Rudolph. I'm a chauffeur of the Equine Verity. I'm terribly sorry. I'm unfamiliar with that profession. He means to say he's a carriage driver. Oh, I see. But in any case, it is my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph? Rudolph appears to be writing something in a notebook. He writes with incredible speed. His pen only touches the paper for seconds before he fills the entire page. Mr. Rudolph. Ah, forgive me. I was merely taking notes on the people in this room. Taking notes. The witness has a certain compulsion to keep a record of every event that he witnesses. I see. And I assume we'll receive an accurate testimony of how you found the body. Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed, and I wrote down everything that I saw. What? That's quite the claim. Is that true? Why do you choose to remain silent until now? We had initially conducted that the evidence alone was decisive enough. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for his testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed during yesterday's trial. There's no way the prosecution would leverage eyewitness testimony from the start. Something else is happening here. Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw that night. Well, the music seems too low. Okay. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. This occurred at 8:20 a.m. Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flame McCoy and was channeling magic into her sword. She removed the sword from Flameheart's back. As he slowly turned to face her, she stabbed him again in the front. She soon realized that I had witnessed her hit in this crime. She let the body fall to the ground and fled the scene. Inconceivable. If everything occurred as the witness described, I see no room for debate. Objection, Your Honor. I was there, kind of. I know what it is, but we're still gonna press him. Of course, the evidence has always been refutable. You don't remember seeing him when you looked for Celeste. It was pretty dark. Celeste, did you see this man that night? No, this is my first time meeting him. I didn't see him when I ran out of the tavern that night. So he has to be lying. Does that mean he's the one who killed my dad? She tries to bust her hide up, but you can sense her relentlessness. Wow, words. It's hard to say right now, but it's definitely a possibility. The defense now begins its cross-examination. Who was the passenger in your carriage? Well, the identity of the passenger is irrelevant. This witness is the one who actually observed the crime as it occurred. If there was another person at the scene, they may also have crucial testimony. The passenger is under no obligation to testify before the court. And the current witness's account of the event is more than adequate. I agree. I see no reason for Mr. Rudolph to disclose the identity of their client. The defendant must also present a more valid reason to do so. I don't have that. I'm assuming this disturbance was the argument between my client and her father. Yes. I heard two voices. One a young female and one a gruff male. Presumably, these were the voices of Celeste and Flint McCoy. Right. That matches up with what the neighbors heard, too. What did you do after hearing this disturbance, Mr. Rudolph? Wait, that's something I was... You stopped your carriage in the middle of a job? That seems pretty abnormal for a carriage driver. What did your passengers think of this? He had no quarrel with it. What kind of passenger would be stopping mid-drive? Says the guy who got upset stomach on a carriage ride. The passenger's thought in the matters are irrelevant to his testimony, unless you have any hard evidence to prove otherwise. Now then, please tell us what you saw in the establishment, Mr. Rudolph. You sound certain that you saw my client and the victim. How are you sure it was them? Linhart McCoy and her daughter are well known it was in the town. Linhart made himself quite known in the region through his social activism, and the young Celeste dresses in a manner that is far wealthier than the town folks of the Cornhaven. Do you live in the same town as McCoys? How would you know about this? I don't live there, but my work brings me there quite frequently. The witness's place of residence has no bearing on his testimony. What matters is that he was there when the murder occurred. So you're saying my defendant stabbed him twice with her sword? Yes, that's exactly what I saw. But there's only one visible wound in the body. If you say that's true, then that means she stabbed him through the same wound. Isn't that extremely improbable? Improbable, but not impossible. It's strange, I'll give you that. But nevertheless, that's what the witness saw happen. She really reaching with this, but you won't get anywhere unless you can prove that he's lying. And you let her get away. I'm just a simple carriage driver. I have no way of combating an armed assailant. The witness also saw the defendant using magic. Do you honestly expect the chauffeur to subdue an armed mercenary? You suppose that she has a point there. He must have come up with a detailed story beforehand and wrote it down. It's the little quirk of writing everything down is the perfect cover for him to read over his notes. I guess it would be hard to catch him in a lie if he was a way to keep his story straight. Actually, it's just the opposite. With all those details, it would be that much easier to find the inconsistency. You just need to find out which details. I know which details incorrect. I just like the press. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim, and you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so. Yes, I could never forget such a ghastly sight. That moment was burned into my memories. I see. Well, it's funny that you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. What? Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know such accusations can't mean lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Take a look at this report. The dining room lights are artificial devices that are powered by arcane power cells. However, that same arcane power cell was broken during the time of the murder. The dining room light had no energy, and the room would be pitch black. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. Wait, I can explain. There's no need, witness. You could have easily seen another sort of light. Perhaps one of McCoy's lit a candle because of the blackout. The witness clearly describes a source of blue light. A candle or lantern wouldn't emit a color like that. Then the witness is clearly mistaken. The witness records everything he sees in his notebook. He even remembers the exact time of each event occurred. So why would he be incorrect about a clear and oblivious detail? No, what the witness saw is clearly some sort of form of magic. And due to the lack of power, it couldn't have been artificy. It must have been an arcane spell. That's it. What is it, witness? I must have made an incorrect assumption. Please allow me to revise my testimony. What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? If the witness wants to revise his testimony, I see no harm in obliging in him. And you, Mr. Cuthbert? If he thinks he saw something different, then it's only fair to hear him out. You tear through each of his lies, no matter what he does. I remember now. Yesterday, it was revealing that Flintheart was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic. I must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. The spell was called Mageblade. Am I correct? That's it. The blue glow I saw must have been created by Mageblade. I see. Emits a yellow radiant glow. Thank you, Mageblade. I see. So the blue light you saw comes from the defendant's magic. Mr. Cuthbert, you may proceed with your cross-examination. With pleasure. Are you changing your testimony based off of yesterday's trial? No, I assure you, that's not what I'm doing. But after thinking about it further, I think I finally understand what I saw. Wouldn't that be pretty noticeable and distinct? The witness is of common folk. Furthermore, the defendant's magical ability wasn't known to many until the night of the murder. What reason would the witness think that he was witnessing magic? He would have just think that the sword was a racing in a glow by some other means. That last part is a bit far-fetched, but he can't really refute it right now. You seem uncertain about the spell you saw my client use. How can we trust the rest of your testimony? Witness has no knowledge about the arcane arts. I'll grant you that. But it doesn't matter if he was unable to identify the specific spell. The only thing that matters is that he saw it happen. You won't get anywhere unless you can prove that he didn't see Mageblade. Well, I know this is what I have to present. You still don't sound so sure of yourself. I wasn't sure of it at first, but then I remembered that Flintheart was killed using magic. It was really hard to believe. I didn't realize that magic was used when I saw the scene. I suppose not. Not that you actually believe him. He just keeps telling lie after lie. Celeste is trying to keep her composure, but you notice her firmly clenching her fists. He's trying to cover for his mistake. I'm sure he's just making things up on the spot now. He doesn't know how magic works. I bet he barely understands what Mageblade even does. Right, there has to be a flaw with his testimony because of that. Nailed it. Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? Of course not. I'm just a common folk. Are you trying to say that I should have recognized Celeste's magic blade? No, I'm admitting that you probably don't know, but I'm admitting that you probably won't know about Magic Blade. But that's exactly where your mistake was. My mistake? Mr. Rudolph, if you're aware how Magic Blade works, then you know that the spell emits a yellow radiant glow. Which means the blue glow you saw couldn't have possibly been Mage Blade. This is ridiculous. I'll grant you that the witness clearly remembers seeing a blue glow. But what significance such a minor detail have? It's extremely significant, Prosecutor Steelwing. If the witness did see a magical blue glow, then he must have witnessed another spell at the scene. Preposterous! You don't have any evidence to back up that claim. That blue light made a large impression on the witness. He wrote it down in his notebook, and he specifically mentioned the color. There's no way he wouldn't be thinking about something like that. So what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene casting a spell she couldn't possibly cast? Or did you see another mage at the scene? Well, Your Honor, the defense has no right to accuse the witness like this. Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you are found to have lied in your testimony, you will be prosecuted. No, please, wait. No, that's quite enough of that. Grandma Pierce suddenly steps down from the gallery and walks to the witness stand. He's breaking every possible rule in the book, but no one in the room moves to stop him. The bailiff looked Judge nervously, but the judge just narrows his eyes and actually wishes Pierce. Pierce, meanwhile, shoves the still frustrated Rudolph off the stand and begins to address the courtroom. What's he even doing here? I will not stand by while you harass my servant. Pierce, we discussed this. There's no need for you to take the stand. And what, pray tell, did they discuss? Nonsense. I have nothing to hide. And if you have done your job properly, I wouldn't have to intervene. But this is the first time Steelwind doesn't seem to have control of the situation. What is the meaning of this, Miss Steelwind? Who is this man? This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor. That is a lord, Garrick Pierce to you, Steelwind. And I'm the honorable heir to the Pierce noble house. In any case, I must apologize. I'm afraid that these misunderstandings are entirely my fault. What do you mean? You see, Rudolph wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I'm the one who witnessed the crime. I had my driver report the body so that I could remain anonymous. What? Are you saying that you had Rudolph lie for you? I simply directed him to say what I saw and had him repeat to the law enforcement. It simply won't do for a member of the nobility to appear in the public court. Lord Pierce, regardless of your intentions, this is a very active perjury. But from the looks on the judge's face, you can easily tell that he won't face any actual consequences. Because he's a nobleman. And then the nobles get special privileges because they're noble. As you can tell, I am not a fan of the noble people. I understand, and I will accept the consequences of that. But I will be remiss if Rudolph's shabby testimony has allowed that girl to escape her crimes. Please, let me testify to what I saw that night. Very well. This is highly irregular, but I believe the court will benefit from hearing your testimony. However, know that this misconduct has hurt your credibility. Very well. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep, so I want to unleash your carriage around Cornhaven. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. That's when I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing the poor man twice with her sword. Garrick Pierce, he's a member of the nobility. That means he's probably a mage, right? And he's the only other mage that was there that night. Does that mean? There's no doubt about it. He's the only person that could have left a trace of transmutation on the body. He has to be the mage that we're looking for. Sorry, this must be a lot for you right now. Don't worry about me. Focus on taking him down. This seems like a strange way to pass time. Not that you believe him for a second. The witness is intelligible or beyond the point. What matters is that he's clearly at the scene. I wouldn't quite put it that way, but nevertheless. I'm guessing this commotion was the argument between my client and the victim. The one would include that, yes. As we all know, both of them are quite loud during the argument. It's not understandable to say that the witness heard them from this carriage. If he was at the tavern entrance, that means he was here. You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance? It would be quite dark considering the lights weren't operational, even if my client was using Mage Blade at the time. Ah, of course, I've forgotten that detail. I couldn't see what was happening, so I used my light to illuminate the scene. You used magic at the crime scene? Yes, I remember it clearly. I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. That same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought that Rudolph didn't witness the crime scene at all. If I had to guess, Mr. Rudolph must have seen the blue light from the carriage. He must have made that detail part of his testimony earlier. That actually makes a lot of sense now that you think about it. Rudolph was so sure that he saw a blue light. It would be strange if he was lying about that. But anyways, which spell did you use to illuminate the crime scene? It was the Conjure Light spell. The duration of the spell, a mode of magical light appears on the caster's hand. The color of light is chosen by the caster and can change at will. The mode provides... Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, then I would like for his spell competent to be added to the court records. I see no reason to evaluate the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell. I agree. The defense would need a stronger reason to resecrate the witness's spell competonium. Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station. Oh, shut up. Casting a spell seems like a pretty significant detail to forget. For you, maybe. But for a practiced mage like myself, using magic is natural as moving my arm. You admit that you wouldn't know what it's like to be a mage. And I assume that you're going to say that she stabs him from opposite sides each time. Of course. Mind you, I have no idea why she would act like that. But you can prove that she didn't do exactly what I described. I suppose not. At least not yet, anyways. Pierce is definitely the real murderer. This means there has to be a lie somewhere in his testimony. He keeps saying that he stood at the entrance the entire time. If he killed my father, then he would be further in. Right. Is there any way you can prove that he was further inside the building? Wait. 15 feet. That is way more than 15. Because that's at least 20. Haha! Nailed it. Perfect logic. And this is where I'd hair flip if I had the animation. Lord Pierce, you said that you illuminated the scene from the tavern's entrance, and you only took a single step into the building. Of course. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. In that case, I'd like you to take a look at the map of the tavern. If you took a look at this map, it would place you right here where the W is. Am I correct? Of course I was. I don't know where you wish to achieve by having me repeat that fact. Well, I find it interesting that you illuminated the crime scene from all the way back there, considering that conjured light only illuminates an area within 15 feet. What? The spell's range is irrelevant. We already established that the victim would have been illuminated by Mage Blade. During his testimony, Lord Pierce clearly said that he couldn't see what was happening. That's why he conjured light in the first place. However, conjured light doesn't work like a normal sort of light. It only provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. If he had stayed at the entrance, he wouldn't have done anything to help illuminate the scene. But what does this mean? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not? Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. Lord Pierce did illuminate the scene of the crime. He illuminated it because he was standing right there when it happened. Mr. Cuthbert, are you trying to say that Lord Pierce was that close to where the murder occurred? How would that be possible? Well, there's only one way this scenario would make sense, Your Honor. And that would be if Garrick Pierce was the one who murdered Flint McCoy. Hold on for a minute. This is absurd. I could have easily used a different spell to illuminate the room. And which spell would that be, Your Pierce? The name escapes me. I'm not sure which one it is now that I think about it. You idiot. Well, maybe we can figure it out together. When you relinquish your spell called Compedem to the court. But what? This is a clear violation of my privacy. Steelwind, why aren't you objecting to this? If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You made your bed, now lie in it. Steelwind, you chantress. That is enough. It appears that the prosecution has no objections. With everything that has occurred, I ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell compendium to the court. Caster creates a simple and harmless visual effect around their hand. This effect will last as long as they maintain concentration on the spell. Conjure water causes magic to flow over the caster's hand. This water will flow so long as the caster maintains. Anything caught in this range with a blast of extremely cold air, liquid will hit and immediately be frozen, and life will immediately enter a stage of hypothermia. While concentrating on this spell, the caster can magically manipulate up to 10 liters of liquid and form it into complex shapes. At any time, the caster can choose to freeze the liquid and solidify its current state. While frozen, the caster can also choose to make the liquid instantaneously melt. Good job, Tyrion. We got a spell combinonium. What's that? This case is as good as yours. Or is it? She didn't even try to stop you from taking his spell combinonium. She wouldn't let that happen just to spite Lord Pierce. She definitely still has something up her sleeve. But feel wounds. Conjured Light, it's only a spell that he can use. It's the only spell he can cast that would shed a blue light. This renders his testimony and after statements false. You can practically hear Lord Price grinding his teeth. Your Honor, Lord Pierce could very well be a suspect in the murder of Flintheart McCoy. The defense argues that this is presence is reasonable to doubt the acquitted and reasonable doubt to acquit the defendant. I acknowledge that Lord Pierce's actions are quite suspicious. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. There's much more we need to learn. What? That's not how it works. We proved that there's a reasonable doubt. That should be enough to acquit me, right? In a normal case, maybe, but it's different for this trial. The public won't accept an unsolved homicide involving magic. Unless we can eloquently prove your innocence, the court will keep drawing out this case. What? But that's not fair! That's just how the system works. Our court system doesn't exist to exact justice. It exists so that the kingdom can save face. No. However, the court will be suspending the trial of Celeste McCoy until further notice. That is, until Lord Pierce can be investigated as a possible suspect. A possible suspect? The very idea of that is preposterous, Your Honor. Damn it, you knew she was planning something. Let's revisit the basic facts of this case, shall we? Flintheart McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Mr. Cuthbert, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows? Alright. His spells are Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frostwave, and Shape Liquid. None of which can be applied to a sword. You realized it too, haven't you? Lord Pierce doesn't know any transmutation spells that can be channeled through a solid object. What? That can't be right. You're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelwind. I can have possibly committed the murder. I see. So we just need to somehow prove that it wasn't with that in mind, that would lead the defendant as the only possible killer. But he was the only other mage there. He has to be the real murderer. But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object. We can't prove that he stabbed him while casting magic. Wait a minute. How did he do it then? She's right. How did he do it? If there's traces of transmutation magic on the wound, then Flintheart was definitely stabbed with something magical. But none of his transmutation spells can affect the steel blade. Does that mean he used something else? The defense did cast some doubt on the witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could not possibly have committed the murder. With that in mind, please wait, Your Honor! We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed the crime. What are you on about? Lady Steelwing said it herself, you commoner. I don't know any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade. He's right, which can only mean one thing. You didn't use a steel blade, did you? You just used the blade to make it look like you didn't commit the murder. What nonsense is this? The opposite report clearly states that the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a blade, how could he have possibly committed the crime? Yes, you claim seem quite contrary to the facts this far, Miss Cuthbert. Which spell did Lord Pierce have to kill the victim? Caster creates a simple and harmless visual effect around their hand. What's the he simply left. Mutation. Shape liquid. What kind of good? Aha! There we go. You see, Your Honor. Gary Pick didn't kill the victim using a sword. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a sword. What? I'm afraid I don't quite understand, Mr. Cuthbert. I'd like you for the court to take a look at Lord Pierce's spell condominium. Gears Pierce's seems seemingly insignificant spell called Shape Liquid, which with it he can control a body of water, shape it into any complex shape he wants. Then he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape. A shape like a sword. What? No! Is it possible that he... What do you have to say for yourself, Lord Pierce? What do I have to say? Pierce is breathing become more frantic. He's clearly not used to being put in a corner like this. Hair flips. You can see his stress and frustration emanating through the eyes of Honduras. You have now time for the finishing blow. I'll tell you exactly what I have to say, you commoner. I'm not the one on trial here. We're here because that bastard child didn't know her place. She's just a peasant, and yet she still learned the arcane arts. And look at what happened. The girl used the holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage. Oh, this music is epic. I think we conjure light. And how, pray tell, did you see everything? If you recall, you testified that you only took one single step inside the inn. But you wouldn't have needed to be within 15 feet of my client to see it was conjured light. This again? If you're going to keep treading on that one detail, then I'll admit it. I'll step further into the inn. I kept that detail in my testimony. Oh, because I knew that you used it to cast suspicion on me. Lord Pierce. But you didn't just keep that detail from your testimony, did you? You testified the opposite. That makes you guilty of committing perjury. No, I mean... Yeah, you miserable wretch. And let's not stop there. For your story to be true, you would have needed to be within 15 feet of my client. According to your testimony, my client has just finished committing the murder. Wouldn't she have noticed you? If you weren't that close, then you would have surely been close enough to apprehend her. So why didn't you? Why didn't you have don't you have a duty to your citizens? Shut up! Shut up, you dirty peasant mouse! That woman was armed. I had no reason to put my life in danger. I was terrified when I saw her holding that bloody sword. My life was in danger. Oh, right, duh! But that can't be right, can it, Lord Pierce? This photo of the crime scene shows that the sword was left in the victim's body. How could she still be wielding her sword if she just left it there? Well, damn you! Damn you! Steelwind, why aren't you saying anything? What? Prosecutor Samuel has lost her usual air of confidence. You find it strange, though. Even though you had the advantage, she always maintained her usual pose. Lord Pierce, please put yourself together. How can I remain calm when this challenge is trying to frame me? This is a complete travesty of our justice system. And what do I get instead? Slander from some lowly defense attorney? You talked about justice, but you committed several acts of perjury to twist the outcome of this trial. You're clearly not acting in good faith. You didn't care about justice, you just wanted to further your agenda. So admit it, Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using a shape liquid and you used it to impale a flint heart. You shoved my client's sword into the wound, while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it? What? Lord Pierce? My apologies, Your Honor. It's just as I realized something absolutely hilarious. What? Has he finally lost his mind? The defense put forward an interesting theory, but there's one problem with it. And what's that? I think you said it yourself. You shoved Celeste's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was the perfect crime, wasn't it? You see, it would have been the perfect crime. Because any evidence to support that theory would have evaporated with that frozen blade. What? No, he's right. If you used the ice blade to kill Flintheart, it would have evaporated by now. And that means there would be nothing left of the murder weapon. You spun quite the tale here today. But in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, do you? You have nothing on me. Isn't there anything we can do? You became quiet. Chariot, isn't he saying anything? Is it really hopeless? But all it takes is one look at the expression on your face. Any words she had instantly disappeared, because she realized the expression on your face is the same expression you made every time you defeated her. What is it? You glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you lost. I despise people like you. You twist the system to serve your own ends. You trample on the lives of innocent people. But as long as I'm here, I will never let that happen again. Ugh, what did I just do? Your head feels like it's about to burst. The pain is unbearable and overwhelming. But at the same time, you feel an extreme sense of clarity, as if you can see more than you could before. I can't believe that peasant has pushed me this far. Once again, you see Pierce's thoughts through the eyes of Honduras. But the sensation feels different now than it usually is. It's more intense and potent this time. It's almost as if you can do more than just read his surface level thoughts. Empowered Eye. You activated the Empowered Eye. With it, you'll be able to do more than see the witness's thoughts. You'll also be able to affect what they think about, project items into the Pierce's mind, and evoke thoughts from him. You want to project items that make him think about the murder. Evoking the right thoughts will raise your insight. Once the insight gauge is filled, you have everything you need to implicate him. After all the trouble I went to, I can't believe that lawyer figured out the spell I used. Well, no matter. It's not as far as there is no any evidence I proved to use it. I'm lucky that old fool hasn't found the bottle of water with him. Water from a bottle? Wait, a bottle? Well then. A reveling has been. I believe it's time for me to take my leave. Wait a minute, Pierce. What is it now, you wrench? I said it as many times as you need to hear. There's no evidence of a liquefying weapon at the crime scene. You're right, Pierce. If you did use shape liquid on a body of water, the murder weapon would evaporate entirely. Ah, it seems you finally got that back through your sick head. Bravo. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Pierce. What if you didn't use shape liquid on a body of water? What if it was another type of liquid? What are you going about? Pierce, shape liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquids. The shattered bottle contains the liquid that you cast your spell on, didn't it? You showed him the picture of the shattered bottle of lotus juice. That bottle. Pierce, I found this shattered bottle on the ground near the victim's body. I wonder what caused it to shatter. You must have decided to use any liquid you can find. Lucky for you, the victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid in his hands. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken piece of this bottle, would we find traces of illumination magic? You little! That still proves nothing. So what if there was traces of magic on the shattered bottle? You still don't have a murder weapon. I wasn't finished, Pierce. What? You see, the liquid contained in this bottle wasn't water. It was soda. So, what difference does that make? A blade of ice made out of water would have evaporated entirely. But a blade made out of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue. No, it can't be. I wonder why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we check out the outline of that trace, I bet we find a puddle of a dried puddle of soda residue. It would prove that you used your magic on that soda. There's your murder weapon, Pierce. And that's checkmate. Bailiff, tell Odom to analyze the crime scene at once. We must determine this puddle of soda residue exists. The time of window to find traces of magic is closing. So, we had our team search the crime scene for that soda puddle. I really can't believe it, but we found it. In fact, the outline of the soda line lines up exactly with the outline of traces of transmutation magic. We checked the broken bottle too. There was traces of transmutation magic on it as well. There's no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda. I see. Thank you, Odom. Please escort Lord Pierce back to the stand. What do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? What do you think you have accomplished here today? You honestly think you can indicate me? I'm an aristocrat from the highest outcomes of our society. That fool of a man was an insurgent. He was the threat to society, and I did my civic duty by removing him. Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell. Steelwind! First-degree murder is punishable by execution, Lord Pierce. I suggest you remain silent, lest you incriminate yourself further. What? You can't be serious! Shut your insolent mouth. Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away. Yes, take him away at once. I can't believe it. We actually won. Tyrion, It was all she can do is hold back her tears. You don't need to say anything. Your face says it all. Thank you. You more than succeeded my expectations today. Miss Tomria! I'll be honest. When I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought that would be the case shot. I can't believe you were able to turn that around. It was just luck. If you had used water, we would have been done for. It had nothing to do with luck. You were able to deduce which liquid he used, and you did it by just looking at a few shards of broken glass. Your skills of deduction never cease to amaze me. That's not exactly true, but with Celeste there, you can't tell her about your new ability. You were all quite lively. There's no need for such hostility, though I wouldn't expect any less from the hounds of the Eye Taker. Wait, what did she mean by that? You glance at Miss Tomia, but when she meets your gaze, she immediately looks away. She looks like she's focusing, almost as to protect herself from a certain eye. I must admit, I was hoping to test my blade against you directly. However, your protege proved to be a worthy adversary. Thank you? Is this some kind of game to you? You talk about trials as if there's some kind of competition. Your actions almost condemned an innocent woman to death. Our system operates by having two powers of operation. When those powers are balanced, justice prevails. Make no mistake, your victory today was just our system working as intended. Ha! Working as intended? You know very well our system only exists to protect you people. I know. What? In any case, it looks like we'll be facing each other more frequently in the future. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. What a strange girl. Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. Oh, what do you have in mind? There's this amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they'll let anyone in if they have enough gold. Wait, do we have enough gold? Of course we do. Don't worry about the details. I'll hand out everything. Wait, just how much money does Miss Tomiya make? And so thus began my journey into the world of law and magic. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have many trials ahead. Regardless, I'll keep fighting to get justice for every one of my clients. Yeah! One episode done! Now, it's only been an hour, so I'm gonna continue. This feeling. I knew it. His radiant soul has finally reawakened. I can't believe it. I've been waiting so long. I can't wait for the day when I can see his eyes drape in agony. The Walking Dead. Let me go! I'm not going anywhere until I see her! I am sorry, Wallace, but she's already passed. There's nothing more they could have done. How? This academy teaches the best mages in the kingdom. Are you telling me that they couldn't do anything? Her condition was much worse than we thought. The kingdom's magic isn't advanced enough to treat something like this. Lucio Steelwing can rain meteors from the sky. Wilma Franga can teleport an entire novice across continent. Are you telling me that your mages couldn't cure one disease? I'm sorry. I truly am. Emily. I'm sorry, Celeste, but there's no way out of this. Celeste's attention is sharply focused on the chessboard between you two. You can see her eyes quickly dart from place to place. Just give me a second! I can still win this! Celeste, there's no way to avoid checkmate your next turn. Just surrender. She ignores you and continues to staring at the pieces. There! What about that? Checkmate. Damn it! Would you two keep it down? We are in a library. Miss Tomiya glances at the chessboard. I hope you didn't spend the entire morning playing around. I've been working hard, Ruby. I've already learned two new spells formula since we got here. Well, at least there's that. What about you, Culprit? Well, you frustrating shammering to exactly much progress you made. I hit checkmate. I couldn't find any books about the subject we were looking into. You spent the entire day combing through the kingdoms and the Imperial Library, researching the highest of Onerous. During Celeste's trial, you awakened a new ability that you never used before. Up until then, you thought the eye could only see surface-level thoughts. But during the moment it was the Garrick Pierce, the eyes of Onerous was empowered, and you could see far more than usual. You told Miss Tomiya about it when it happened, and it made you both wonder what other hidden abilities the eyes might have. You both decided it's time to find out more about the eyes and its origin. This library supposedly held the kingdom's entire knowledge of magic and the arcane arts, but you couldn't find a single mention of any ability like the eye. Does the kingdom seriously lack knowledge about it? Or do we need to look somewhere else? Are you sure you can't tell me what you're researching? I've traveled around the world. I might have seen something like it. You entertained this thought for a moment, but you haven't known her for very long. The Eyes of Onerous is a supernatural ability that can't be detected by a spell continuum. You've always been worried about what the kingdom might do to you if you ever found out about it. Sorry, it's something I can't. It's not something I really can talk about. Fine. If I had to guess, I would say that they're looking into supernatural phenomenons. Ah! You and Celeste nearly jump out of your chairs. When you look over where the voice came, she seems to be a student at the academy. How long was she there? You didn't notice her presence at all. You also feel like she looks oddly familiar. I'm terribly sorry if I startled you, but I couldn't help to hear your conversation. As the girl approaches your table, you see another student frantically running after her. Eris! You can't just... I'm so sorry. Oh, it's fine, Wallace. I'm sorry, but who are you two? Sorry, that was incredibly rude of me. My name is Eris Emitter. And this is Wallen's Nightgrave. We're both students here. Hi. Not to be rude, but this was a private conversation. Just how much did you hear? I wonder. Reading about the supernatural is actually a hobby of mine. I might be able to help you with your research, Mr. Cuthbert. And what makes you so sure that it is what we are researching? Mr. Cuthbert has a bad habit of mumbling to himself when he thinks. I assure his research has something to do with the supernatural. You feel a piercing side glance from Sonia. My vet! It's a habit! I'm sorry! I get overthinking sometimes. I'm actually the same way sometimes. You know, I start thinking about something and then I'm just like, that's all I can think about, and sometimes it happens at work all the time. I've had to explain the zero escape to people before. Mostly virtue's last reward, but then again, every time I was like, but then I was 9 doors. That's a very thing that has happened. It's a habit. Just like what it's gonna have to be what it do be sometimes. You avoid eye contact with her. But, anyways, do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Of course, I'd be happy to help. Wait, fine. I suppose it won't hurt. Just remember to show some discretion, Tyrion. Right. Now, I guess we can't go anywhere. But first, the library is full of books for educational purposes. You've been combing through these books all morning. It's holy text of some sort. It must be related to the Church of Balmut. It's a table for students to sit at. You've been sitting here with Celeste all morning. It's a globe of the world. It's amazing how many other nations there are aside from Wivengard. I've been to most of these places. You should come with me next time, Tyrion. That's a nice thought. Maybe you can travel with her when you're less busy. There's some sort of notice tap on one of the shelves. Due to constant. Okay, I think I need a cough drop. I've been getting a bit of a cold. Due to a constant misuse of Arcane Context voice system, voice lines can now be only used by Headmaster Redmond. You wonder what it's referring to. Okay, let's talk. So you two are students at the Imperial Academy? Yes, I'm currently studying illusion magic. Illusions? That's the kind of magic that leads you to turn invisible, right? Technically, yes, but if you mages never reach a high enough level for that, I'm a bit embarrassed to admit that I'm not even able to cast invisibility. That's still pretty cool. What about you, Wallace? I, Wallace has his own unique field of study. It's probably not your place to pry. Everyone's talking about you two. Really? It's rare for the schools to let any outsiders in. That makes sense. This library isn't exactly open to the public. You're only able to get access because of Miss Tomiya's connections. We only ever get occasional visits from the noble houses, so I was curious about as to who was able to break the dull monotony. Well, I'm a mercenary, but now I work as Tyrion's bodyguard. Mercenary? After her trial, it turned out that Sloss was more than capable of affording your services. However, Miss Tomia still proposed a different arrangement. After indicating Nikias Pierce, you painted a large target on your back. With Sloss being a mercenary, and Miss Toma decided to hire her as your bodyguard. She figured that you would feel more comfortable around someone you already were friends with. Anyways, I'm a defense attorney. A defense attorney? My apologies. It's just not what I was expecting. What's that supposed to mean? Supernatural phenomenon. I wonder why you were researching such a thing. Yeah, I want to know too. I'm sorry, but I can't really say. Regardless, there's many spells in this world. So why are you so convinced that this phenomenon wasn't produced by a spell? What we're looking into doesn't follow the classic rule of magic. Oh, how so? Please tell me. It was created by someone who's not a mage. Oh, really? So you're saying that this was someone created by a person? The words came out of your mouth before you realized it. You sent a small apologetic look to Miss Tomia. That does remind me of a story. A story? Mr. Cuthbert, do you know the legends about how the kingdom of Weingard was created? You mean the story about the ancient dragons? The ancient what? What do you think about this, Iris? You're already starting to presenting me things. We only just started. I really think you're overthinking things. What? Or do you simply want to see all the unique things that I have to say? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not some script for you to toy around with. Feel free to try again later, though. You're not exactly sure what she's talking about. Ooh, she breaks the fourth wall! I like her! I like when characters break the fourth wall. Does Wyvengard have a story about ancient dragons? It's only about one ancient dragon. The Church of Balin refers to him as the Scaled Lord. I'm sure you've heard people mention him before. Legends say that the first mages were created centuries ago by him. At the time, our kingdom was caught in the middle of a brutal war. With no way to defend themselves, the kingdom was on the brink of destruction. Our people prayed to Balin, the god of dragons, for salvation, and almost us to answer their prayers. Rantalon, the scale lord, appeared before them. The scale lail, but no gifts of magic on the brand of heroes who were fighting against on the front lines. With their magic, those heroes utterly overtook the kingdom's enemies and single-handedly won the war. It's said that these heroes went on to form the noble houses of today. What a load of nonsense. That story's nothing but religious propaganda to prop up the noble houses. Regardless, the significance of this legend is the Scaled Lord himself. Do you mean, Ratalon? Ratalon disposed the powers to become a mage in several individuals. And to this day, that power can only be passed down genetically. Can you think of an arcane spell that can produce something like that? No, I suppose not. Rashnama must have had powers that weren't bound by the rules of arcane arts. In other words, he could create supernatural phenomena out the rules of magic. Please, do you honestly expect us to believe a story like that? It's completely unrealistic. As unrealistic as a non-mage using supernatural powers? She had a point. It's a far-fetched story, but honestly the closest thing to have to a lead right now. Ah, of course. It would be you making all this noise. And suddenly a woman appears to be in instruction and approaches you. She looks up and with you with the equal amount of disdain. Professor Bellwether. That is Professor Bellwether to you. But didn't he just call you? I knew letting you rabble through our walls would lead to nothing but trouble. You even started associating with our Melchulants. The headmaster gave us the express permission to be here. If you have an issue with that, take it up with him. I'll have you know that I was on my way just to do that. Wallace? Yes? How am I supposed to understand you when you're stuttering? Yes, Professor Bellwether. Straighten out your uniform and fix that awful hair. You look like a street orange. But I suppose it's unreasonable to expect anything more. And for you, I'll be on my way. What a bitch. Celeste! Oh, come on! We're all thinking it! Anyways, with that out of the way, shall we begin? What? Why do you keep detecting fear from Celeste? Wallace, you finished this week's assignment, haven't you? Would you mind helping Celeste with her research? I don't know. Now that you mention it, I could really use help with finding a specific spell formula. You know your way around here, right, Wallace? Okay. Don't worry, Miss Tomia. I'll be more careful from now on. Please do. I still have business to take care of here, so I'll leave you all to it. You spend the next few hours searching through the library's books with Eris. You hadn't thought to look into ancient dragons, and the library had books about them in abundance. There's one problem, though. There are a lot of missing stories about ancient dragons, but it's pretty difficult to tell fact from fiction with these accounts. It can't be helped. The Church of Belmus is the dominant religion of our kingdom. We have the bones of dragons displayed in museums, but those bones are only widely known evidence of a dragon's existence, except for Raptum, possibly. I wonder if he's still alive, like you said. I wouldn't be surprised. Despite everything, our kingdom's constitution still includes him in our government. Wait, really? As our savior of our kingdom, he and his king were given an honorary position in the political hierarchy. The ancient dragon's authority technically rivals that of King Oliver. Wow, I had no idea. Have I never heard of this before? To be honest, that law is just the way to revere him and appease the church. Rantum couldn't possibly be any worse than the nobility. Ah! You stuck your head in your own thoughts and you accidentally bumped into a bookshelf. The shelf begins to tip over and you catch it before it fully falls over. But not before several books fall out of their shelves. They hit the ground with a cavity thud. Some students glance in your direction. Be quiet! So sorry. Be quiet! Eris begins giggling. She seems amused by what's happening. Hey, are you okay? I heard a lot. Whoa! Phil stares at the pile of fallen books. What did you do? Forget that. Just help me clean this up. There's no need for that. Constructs, I require assistance. Acknowledged. What? Upon Eris's command, one of the nearby suits of armor suddenly springs to life and begins walking towards you. The voice coming out of it sounds human, but it lacks emotion. Why did it sound so familiar? Wait, did you do that, Eris? Yes. This is an arcane construct. It's a suit of armor that is animated using artificery. They're designed to carry out various tasks for students. Really? I didn't know anything like that existed. They're still experimental, so they aren't available to the public yet. With that being said, Construct, Please place these books back where they belong. Acknowledged. On Eris's command, the construct begins quickly picking up the books. It moves with inhuman efficiency. After only a few seconds, all the books were were back on the shelves. Wow, so they do whatever they tell them to. Well, there are some limits too. Construct, tell me that I'm the fairest maiden you've ever seen. Command rejected. Oh, what? I guess you're not allowed to lie. You feel a sharp pain on your side as less quickly jabs you. The construct's voices are just a series of pre-recorded messages. I'm not sure if you noticed, but they used the voice of Professor Bellwether. Unfortunately, you can't make them say anything other than what was recorded. Only the headmaster can change those settings. Our facilities that record audio. I've never seen anything like it. But you just said that they're experimental, right? Maybe if I keep asking it, I'll just give up and do it. I would advise against that. Even if the commands are rejected, they are still stored in the construct's command logs. Anyways, we should probably get back to work. Fine. You read more about the ancient dragons, but most of the stories are more like fables than actual history accounts. I feel like I'm not making any progress. Suddenly, you hear a thunderous low-pitched sound blare across the room. It sounded like a high-pitched horn, but it was the volume turned up to unnatural levels. Well, what? Celeste, do you hear that? Ugh, how can I not? What is that? You didn't touch anything you weren't supposed to, right? What? Of course not! It finally stopped. Eris, wasn't that the lockdown system? Yes, I believe so. Lockdown system? So you're saying I'm stuck in an academy? The academy is outfitted with a large edifice system. In a state of emergency, it will react to magical barriers throughout the building. State of emergency? Someone is being murdered! Should we be worried? Don't worry, the lockdown system is to keep everyone safe. We're safe as long as the barriers are up. But Miss Tomia, she said she was going to do something on campus. I'm terribly sorry. You suddenly hear a disembodied voice that echoes through the library. Sounds like being directed magically. It's the headmaster. He's using the intercom function. Students and faculty, please remain calm. There's been a murder on the academy grounds. What? Please stay where you are and wait for law enforcement to arrive. We're law enforcement? Damn it, we have to get out of here. I'm afraid that's not possible. Lockdown system protects and locks each room. We can't leave this room until it's deactivated. Well, we won't know until we try. You run into the entrance and begin quickly pulling on the door's handle. You try to pull all your strength, prying it open, but it doesn't even bulge. Tyrion, stop! But Miss Tomia! I know that you're worried about her, but there's already been a murder. We don't know where the attacker is or if they're still armed. The best thing we can do right now is stay here and wait. She's right. Damn it. Miss Tomia is dead, isn't she? Celeste's hand rests on her sword, her eyes carefully watching the entrance. Wow. We've been here for hours, and she still hasn't stopped watching the door. She was also able to calm me down earlier. It's easy to forget sometimes, but she's always reliable when it really counts. What? Students and faculty, thank you for your patience. Law enforcement have secured the building. Lockdown has been lifted. However, please remain in the building until the headmaster barely finished with his message before you're out the door. Tyrion! Hey! Don't go off on your own! He desperately runs to the academy halls. No. Miss Tomia? Miss Tomia! Where are you? You have no idea where you're even going anymore. You can feel your fear and anxiety rise with each passing moment. Where is she? She's dead. Okay, good, she's alive. Cuthbert? What's wrong? Why are you shouting? Miss Tomia, calm down. You're hyperventilating. I heard there was a murder, and I've been looking all over for you. And you were worried about me. You hug Miss Tomia as tight as you overcome with emotion. She's unusually not receptive to affection, but you don't care. You just reveal that she's safe. Tyrion, there you are! And you're crying. Sorry, I didn't mean to worry you so much. We heard the announcement. Do you know what happened, Ruby? I do, but... You see Tomia glance at Wallace for a brief moment. For now, I think we should head to the foyer. You arrive at the foyer and see the warm swarm with a legion of familiar knights. Is that the Inquisition? Don't tell me. The headmaster mentioned that there was a murderer on campus. Someone used magic. But like, hey, you there! What up, boy? As you enter the foyer, the commander noticed you and began marching in your direction. But his attention isn't focused on you. Huh? Are you Wallace Nightgrave? Yes, but by the authority of the Wyvern Guard Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. Hey, what are you doing? You three? The hell are you doing here? Oh, we were looking into books. You said he was under arrest? On what charges? This kid is in charge of the murder of Catherine Bellwether. What? Wasn't that the professor you met in your library earlier? Like hell, you're arresting him! He was with us in the library the entire morning. There's no way he could have murdered her. Move aside, Celeste. But Miss Tomia is right. If Wallace is a suspect, we can't stop the Inquisition from arresting him. No. Don't worry, Wallace. I'll get you to the bottom of what happened. I'll be your defense attorney. You do. Did I tell you I'm a defense attorney? Is that a word, Wallace, that allows the Inquisition to drag him away? My apologies. I'm going to check on him. This is terrible. I still don't understand. Why would they expect Wallace of all people? I'm not sure myself. Unlike most magical homicides, this school is filled with plenty of mages. There has to be a long list of suspects. Is there anything we can do? I'm going to investigate what happened. Cuthbert. Yes? He hasn't accepted you as your attorney yet. You don't even know if you'll be working this case. But I know he's innocent. I just can't sit here and do nothing. Guess we'll have to go ask him to be if we can be his attorney. Well, I clearly can't stop you. But please remember, being an attorney is your job. It's not charity work. Don't come crying to me when you run out of gold. Right. Anyways, I still have business to take care of in the city. Will you two be okay handling this? Yes, we'll take care of this. Good. I'll leave everything to you then. Alright, let's go, Celeste. Right! Yes, I would like to say my progress. It's been a few hours since Wallace has been arrested. You and Celeste were with him during the lockdown, so the Inquisition had to take your statements. But the moment they questioned you, the more they could tell that they had doubts about your testimony. You'll need to do more if you want to establish an alibi for Wallace. That took longer than I expected. We already lost time talking to the Inquisition. But we should be free to roam around now. Where should we go first? The crime scene sounds like a good start. We'll need to figure out what actually happened. Ruby says that the body was found in the lecture hall 2B. It's in the west wing of the school. All right, that seems like a good place to start. What do you think about this, Celeste? Sorry, Tyrion. I don't think I can help you with that. What do you think about this? I hope Wallace is okay. He looked really scared when Commander White arrested him. Don't worry, we'll find out what really happened. But first, you need to inspect the crime scene. Where should we go next? The first thing we need to do is find out exactly what happened. Miss Tomia said that the body was found in the lecture hall 2B. We should start with our investigation there. This music is so good. Is it on Spotify? I should look into that. Wait. You looked around the barracks center hall, but you don't see Wallace anywhere. The Inquisition is probably still questioning him. We should come back later. I want to examine the statue. There's some written on the platform. On the platform, it is. Gillian Kermit, the inventor of early artificery. So this guy's the one who invented it. Who else thought we could use machines to harness magical energy? Artificery is truly a marvelous invention. With it, anyone can utilize the convenience of magic without having noble blood. Although the expense of owning artificery presence is their own barrier. But that expression on his statue, kind of looks like he doesn't want to be here. Even though his statue is huge. He doesn't give off that attitude, does he? A painting of a man with sort of creature on his arm. There is some text under it. Dr. Delbu Tedwus, a mage, a historian, archaeologist, anthropologist, and botanist. Best known for his work in the study of the ancient dragons. Through his work, great leaps were made in the study and development of the school of evocation. On his arm is the last known of his priesthood rings, which has now gone extinct. A painting of a professor with some kind of magical tool. There's some text under it. Dr. Paul Voulois, known as the archaeologist of the North. He spent many years studying and exploring the mountainous regions of the Ceradon, and through his investigations, he came up with many layers of the scale. The many layers of the Scaled Lord. He was honored by both the Church and Avant-Garde Historical Society for an impressive discovery. Okay, that's all we can investigate. Alright, let's move! Hey, stop right there! As you try to enter the classroom, you're stopped by one of the Inquisition Knights. I'm the defense attorney for the accused. We have a right to investigate the crime scene. Yeah, from what I heard, the kid doesn't have an attorney yet. Right, you haven't been able to talk to Wallace about that yet. It's quite alright, let them in. Lady Steelwind, do not call me that. While you work under me, you will address me as Prosecutor Steelwind. Yes, Prosecutor Steelwind. What's that smell? As you enter the classroom, you find yourself inhaling a sour and rancid odor. The stench is overwhelming, but your eyes begin to tear up. Don't worry, you'll eventually get used to the smell. What are you even doing here, Steelwind? I'm here to coordinate the investigation. You look around the crime scene. There isn't a single Inquisition Knight in the room. Isn't that the Inquisition's job? Due to the circumstances, I decided to handle this case personally. Well, since we got here, could we ask you some questions about what happened? Can I assume that you plan to defend this case? That would make you my opponent. What do I have to gain from helping you? Right. However, I would be willing to answer your questions. If only you answered some of mine as well. Oh, okay. What could she possibly want to ask you? Miss McCoy, it is my understanding that you're adopted. Would you happen to know your birth parents? Would you happen to know who your birth parents are? Hey! Isn't that too personal of a question? You agreed to answer my questions, didn't you? But I didn't think you meant... It's fine, Tyrion. I'm fine with answering if it helps Wallace. I don't know who my birth parents are. I never tried looking for them. I see. If I recall correctly, your spell of Confidonium only contained one spell. Considering your upbringing, how did you learn Mage Blade in the first place? I bought a scroll from a merchant a few years ago. It had the Mage Blade spell formula on it, but I know more than one spell now. I actually just learned a few new spells today. I'm sorry, spells. As in plural? How long did it take you to learn these spells? A few hours, I think. She learned a multiple spell formulas in a few hours? What was that just now? I see. Well, I think that's all I need to ask for now. Okay. She's sharing information about the investigation for that? Why is she so interested in Celeste all of a sudden? You want to hear? You want to talk about the Arcane constructs? What do you think about this, Miss Steelwind? I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't say much about that. Okay. I can't take it anymore. That smell is driving me crazy. What is that? From what I understand, it was a bit of an accident a few days ago. Happens during one of the classes that the headmaster was teaching. He misread the instructions for the alchemy experiment, and as a result, he accidentally produced this ransom-smelling vapor. Vapor? It's not poisonous, is it? Of course not. I wouldn't be standing here if it was. It's just extremely unpleasant to the senses. Do you know what happened here, Stillwing? Well, it all began when the City Watch received a call from the academy. Supposedly, there was an attack on the campus ground, and the entire building was put on lockdown. The City Watch set up a perimeter around the building where they waited for the system to deactivate. What? Couldn't the academia let them in once the scene was secured? I'm not sure about the specifics, but supposedly the lockdown can't be shut down manually. You'll have to ask one of the academy's admins if you want to know more. Anyways, you two were also present during the lockdown, am I correct? Did either of you see anything suspicious? No, but we actually met the professor that morning. She was still alive then. I see. That does match with the account from the other witnesses. Do you have any idea where she went after she left the library? The headmaster gave us express permission to be here. If you have any issue with that, then take it up with him. Last thing you know that I was on my way to do just that. She said she was going to meet with the headmaster. He also mentioned that when I questioned him. She attended the meeting as planned. If the headmaster met with Bellwether, you probably want to speak with him next. She must have found her way to the classroom afterwards. Would you happen to have a map of the academy? I do. I have extra copies, if you'd like one. There's only one direct path from the headmaster's office to the lecture hall. But I wonder if she took any detours. Do you know how the body was discovered? Two members of the kitchen spotted her collapse inside the classroom. They reported the situation to the campus admin while they were attempting to save her life. But it was too late. The professor has already passed away by the time any healers arrived. Those two staff members, who were they? I believe their names were Viantina and Valeria Solanas. They are apparently sisters. Omen was the one who collected their statements. Did he notice anything off about their behavior? From what he said, they had a few quirks, but nothing too suspicious. Quirks? He told me that they were running and spinning around him during questionings. What does that mean? Oh god, we're probably gonna have to speak with them. I have no idea. Perhaps they were still on the edge from finding their coworker murdered. You definitely want to speak with those two staff members. Oh, I don't actually want to move. We already told the Inquisition this, but Wallace was with us the entire time. He couldn't have committed the murder. Yeah, he has a perfect alibi. Strong, maybe, but his alibi is far from perfect. Oh, right, because he knows necromancy. Miss McCoy told us herself. There was a small period of time when she wasn't with him. What? Right, it was when I came to check up on you after you knocked over that shelf. I got a little lost on my way back to Wallace. But still, we only lost each other for a few minutes. That may be. But unless his alibi is airtight, the evidence in this room proves that it was him. What do you mean? It will be easier to explain once you examine it yourself. Oh, Tyrion, I almost forgot. Since this is our first official case together, I want to show you something that I learned. Okay, what is it? What was that? That was the incarnation for the detect magic spell. Detect magic. Wait, does that mean? Yep! We can see magical traces while we are examining crime scenes now. Detect magic. Your bodyguard Celeste can now cast detect magic spell. When examining a location, press the detect magic button to make magical traces visible. If there's any magical traces at your location, you'll see the color overlay. There's a traces of illusion magic next to the body. We believe that the suspect dons an illusionary disguise immediately after murdering the victim. Using his disguise, he discreetly made his way back to the library and noticed. Assuming that Wallace isn't the murderer, the real killer must have used a similar disguise, which means no one would have seen them leave this classroom. It would be hard to find any witness that saw the perpetrator. What? What's wrong? There's traces of necromancy on the body. Necromancy? Isn't necromancy the type of magic that creates undead? She's not just gonna get up and walk away, right? We're honestly not sure. That's part of the reason why I stationed myself here. But what does that have to do with Wallace? Oh, you didn't know? Wallace Nightgrave is a necromancer. He's a what? I thought we already knew this. Honestly, we believe that he has detained her life force completely using a necromancy spell. That's why there is no visible wounds. Here's the opposite report. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Died at 2:01 p.m. Body shows no signs of cut or bruising. The alchemist's report has verified that death was not caused by poisoning or disease. The body traces show necromancy and illusion magic. The cause of death is not apparent, but very likely to cause necromancy. But in the modern day, even the Inquisition doesn't commonly deal with necromancy. They're all on edge about what other spells he might use. So I'm here to make sure that nothing unholy happens to the body. You can't believe it. You heard stories of necromancers before. But why would Wallace be studying something like that? That's the guy who's studying something that... But even if Wallace is a necromancer, there are plenty of other mages who can cast necromancy spells. This is an academy for mages, after all. No, there's no laws against it. But the acknowledge requires to learn necromancy is heavily controlled. No one in their right mind dares to teach necromancy beyond the basic healing magic. Frankly, I'm surprised even one student at the school was allowed to learn it. I can see why. But because of the specific evidence, we know that he's the murderer, but it's still too convenient. That's the first time you see a thought from Steelwind. Normally, you can only see thoughts from people who are stressed or excited. You doubt that Miss Steelwind is excited, so something's causing her to be stressed. Is there something you're not telling us, Steelwind? Because something tells me that this case isn't as straightforward as you claim it is. If you truly believe that, then why don't you prove it? Yeah, I can't see any more thoughts from her. She must be subconsciously guarding her mind now. She clearly is hiding something. A painting of some sort of musician. There's some text written below it. Dr. Necrosimagus, the inventor of Arcane Engine. His work resolutions trades across time and seas. He was well known from discriminating between common folk and the nobility, judging from his assistance based on purely his merits. When he was conducting research with the Imperial Academy, he was known to be composed in symphonies for the king in his free time. Looks like he was a man of many talents. This must be where the students sit during lectures. I can't imagine sitting in one place all day. Have you never attended school before? No, we never had proper school in Corehaven. I mainly got my education from books that my parents brought from traveling merchants. What about you? I used to attend a public school in my hometown, but after Miss Tomi adopted me, she handled my education personally. Ah! I can't believe the professor is dead. We just saw her this morning. There's a chalk outline where her body was. It appears that most of the body came from blood came from her abdomen. Is that where the fatal wound was? There's a lot of blood in this puddle, but there's no trail leading to it. And there aren't too many magical traces anywhere else in the room. I thought the murderer used magic to clean it. Does that mean the murderer attacked her in this room? Maybe, but it's hard to say for certain. Ugh, this rancid smell is really horrible. Yes, I don't blame you for finding it distracting. And it's all because of a mistake during an alchemy experiment. I was surprised too. It's not like the headmaster to make the mistake like this. As a mage from a noble house, you must have gone to school here. Did you know Classroom Bellwether while you were here? Unfortunately, I did. I can I constantly clashed over her with her treatments of other students. One of my biggest regrets is failing to remove her from the position before I graduated. It sounds like many people didn't go along with that professor. I would say more, but it doesn't feel right to speak ill of the dead. All right, I guess I'm moving on. Gonna assume we can't speak with Wallace. Yep. All right. Cool. Well, let's get to the kitchen first. Hello? Is anyone here? Looks like no one's here right now. Maybe we should check up somewhere else. Okay, I guess we're going to the headmaster's office. You followed the map that Sealwyn gave you, and you arrive at the headmaster's office. Oh, hello there. I wasn't expecting guests today. Sorry to come unannounced. You must be. My name is Sarah Mills Redmond, the headmaster of Wayne Garden Peer Academy. And judging from your appearance, you must be the protege of Rumi Tomia. To what do I owe the pleasure? They must be here to investigate the murder. Wait, Eris? I thought you went to see Wallace. Unfortunately, the Inquisition is questioning him right now. They aren't allowing visitors. He must be so scared right now. I hope he's okay. Right, she heard the experience not long ago. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. First, let me examine your room. The painting of someone. He looks like some sort of professor. This is Professor Luke Garabet. He was an instructing here many years ago. He was well beloved by the students here, and he's accomplished for the he was quite accomplished scholar. And this was all despite him lacking ability to use magic. He studied magic without being able to use it. Yes, he was quite remarkable. Unfortunately, we lost him to illness very early in his life. There's a fireplace with some burning wood. It looks pretty cozy. It's a small table for guests. Is that wine? No, actually, it's just apple juice. Do you mind if I take a swig? Most of my guests are all students, after all. Do you mind if I take a swig? Please let me take a swig. A painting of a mage, but he doesn't look quite noble. Oh, that's Jason Steelwind, one of the chosen mages of the Scaled Lord. Wait, Steelwind, as in yes, he's the earliest record of ancestors of the House Steelwind. Legends say that the Scaled Lord bestowed his powers upon him and his allies to create the first mages. Wow. It's hard to imagine that he and the prosecutor belong in the same bloodline. And with all the noble houses, the House Steelwind has quite the humble beginnings. If only they remember where they came from. Detect magic? Okay, no magic! I guess we could, but, What can you tell me about this, Mr. Radom? Ah, my apologies. I've learned a lot in my years, but I can't say much about that. Someone told us that you had a bit of mishap in lecture hall 2B. Ah, yes. I was filling in for the academy instructor when I accidentally misread the instructions she left. I'm quite embarrassed to admit that my old age is catching up to me. The Imperial Academy is quite big when I look at it. Well, of course, we are the primary source of magical education for mages throughout the kingdom. As you may well know, most of the mages enrolled here are from the nobility. Their families have instead looked at a lot of facilities. What can you tell me about this, Mr. Raynon? Yes, my apologies. I've learned a lot in my years. It's a terrible thing that happened. To think someone who would commit murder in the academy, using necromancy, no less. Yes, it's all a lot to take in. This is so terrible. To think that one of my prized students would be accused of murder. We heard your we heard your voice on the intercom when the lockdown happened. Are you the one who triggered it? Yes, I activated it when I received the call from one of the staff. They reported that Brother Bellwether has been attacked. How does the lockdown system work? It's an artificial network that covers the entire academy. In the event of emergency, I can activate it using this stone. Headmaster pulls out a glowing stone from his desk. You can hear the hums of magical energy emanating from it. Once activated, the system creates a magical barrier throughout the building. It's designed to contain and protect each room in the building. Could a powerful mage breach any of these barriers? I doubt it. The barriers can withstand great amounts of force. You even block mages from teleporting through them. And once activated, even I can't turn it out for an hour. What can you tell me? What can you tell me? What can you tell me about Wallace? Earlier, you said that he was one of your prize students. I just need to understand. Why did the prosecutor say that he was a necromancer? Because technically, he is one. What? But why would he study something like that? Necromancy is probably one of the most dangerous and scrutinizing schools of magic. It has been long tainted by stories of dark wizards raising armies of the undead. However, it doesn't just control the forces of the dead, it also controls the forces of life. Forces of life? The truth is that healing magic is also classified as necromancy. Most healers don't care to admit it because the stigma has. But that's why Wallace is studying it. He wants to become a doctor. But there are plenty of mages who know healing magic. Why is Wallace being singled out? For years, he's been studying necromancy beyond basic healing magic. He believes that high-level necromancy could revolutionize modern medicine. Unfortunately, many among the faculty don't see it that way. Wallace doesn't hail from a noble house. He's a mage that was born among the common folk. He's like me. Many of the faculty fear that he'll use his knowledge to raise armies of the undead, just like the necromancers of old. The Imperial Academy isn't even permitted to teach its students beyond basic healing magic. Then why do you allow him to study it? After everything that has happened to him, I made an exception. Everything that has happened to him? I'm not at liberty to say more. You'll have to ask him if you want to know more. If you plan on defending Wallace, you'll need his spell continuum. Am I correct? Yes, having a client's continuum is an instrument to acquire quitting them. You may find it a bit difficult. You see, after a certain incident, he destroyed his competent. What? Why would he do that? Doesn't he need to use magic? A spell continuum is a spell. It's a device mages use to keep track of what spells they can cast. It's really convenient for remembering formulas and indications of your spells, but it's not actually required to use magic. I started trying mine a long time ago, but they're really expensive. Luckily, I have an untuned the spell quantum right here. It'd be more than happy to give it to you if it helps Wallace. Thanks. Wallace just needs to maintain a physical contact for within 10 minutes. After that, the competent one will attune to his magic. Just make sure that you don't let another mage, like Celeste, hold on to it. Once it attunes to a mage, no one else can use it. Wait, that wonderful. I hope you can pursue Wallace into attuning it. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? Wow, that has a whole mess of emotions. My oh my, me oh my. What some emotions. She was rather unpleasant to work with. Then why the hell hasn't she been fired? If everyone kind of hates her, why hasn't she been fired? Can you think of any enemies she might have had? You might as well list everyone who attends the school. Eris. It's best to be blunt with these sort of things. As you saw this morning, she has a pretty abrasive attitude towards the students. Many people in the school did not care for her. Maybe she wasn't the nicest person, but would that really be enough to motivate someone to murder her? She often targets and harasses students, especially those who are from the common folk. She made a habit of expelling those students for minor infractions. For commoners, magic can be our ticket out of poverty. I can't imagine how it feels to have an opportunity unfairly taken from you. So she put so much pressure on those students. Some of them even left the academy of their own volition. They couldn't handle her constant verbal abuse. Then why hasn't she been fired? Why hasn't she been fired? Even then, wouldn't it really be enough to motivate to commit murder? The human psyche is a fragile thing. It's astounding what someone might do when pushed far enough. What about her relationship with the faculty? In some cases, it was worse than it was with the students. She often treated the staff like her personal servants. Then why hasn't she been fired? Seriously, this is a genuine question. Why hasn't she been fired? I received many complaints from them about her behavior. Then why didn't you fire her? Sorry if this sounds rude. Why didn't you just fire her if she was such a big problem? Thank you, Celeste, for asking the question I have been! She used her position to curry favor with the noble houses over the years. Fucking nobles. There's only one noble I like, and that's Prosecutor Steelwind. If you guys can't tell. As you can imagine, the academy is broad, controlled by nobility. If you ever try to remove her, they would probably support her over me. Well, that answers my question of why she hasn't been fired. I heard that you had a meeting scheduled with Professor Bellwether this morning. What time was it, and when did this meeting end? Our meeting was scheduled for noon. She arrived on time. Our meeting lasted until 1 p.m. Did anything seem off about her to you? No, she seemed to be her usual self. You detected trace of fear, or nervousness. If you don't mind me asking, what was the purpose of your meeting? We met to discuss the routine administrative matters. Despite our personal disagreements, we knew to stay civil when discussing personal affairs. But to be perfectly honest, it did always feel like I was treading on eggshells when speaking with her. But you're her superior, weren't you? Didn't she respect your authority? We had many arguments about how I managed the academy. She was very vocal about her distaste for the common folk students. She was difficult, to say the least. Okay. Hello? Is anyone there? Be right there! Sorry, the cafeteria is closed right now. Actually, we're here to investigate the murder. We heard that two members of the kitchen staff discovered the body. Oh, that would be me. I'm Valentina Lannis. How about the other person? Do you know where they are right now? Oh, that would be my sister Valerie. I think she's somewhere else on campus right now. If you were with those knights, we already told them everything we know. Actually, we're investigating separately from them. I wanted to ask you some questions about what you saw. I'm gonna have to remember those details again. To start, can you tell us how you and your sisters discovered the body? Right. My sister and I were walking from the hallway to the kitchen to the west exit. We spotted the professor in a nearby classroom. She was lying on the floor, bleeding and bleeding. I used the emergency communication device to call for help. While I was doing that, my sister tried to wake her up. That would imply Valerie had thought she would be resuscitated. Do you know why did she know the professor was still alive or not? We were not sure, but she wasn't responding at all. She wasn't breathing, and she didn't have a pulse. What do you know about the suspect in this case? His name is Wallen Nightgrave. He's a student here. He's that scary kid, right? The one that raises the undead. Those are just rumors. He would never do something like that. But he studies necromancy, right? Have you ever actually met him? No, but I heard the rumors. He's always hanging around the cemetery. I'm sure he's just biding his time, waiting for his chance to raise an army. It can't be helped if people think of them that way. But you can't help be a little annoyed on his behalf. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? Looks like someone else doesn't like her. Oh! Yet another complicated emotions. Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it anymore. She was a horrible person. She was really terrible to all of us. By all of us, do you mean the academy staff? Yeah, she always treated us like we were her personal servants. Sometimes she'd make messes on purpose, just so she could order us to clean it up. This probably sounds terrible, but I'm sure a lot of people... I'm sure a lot of people are glad she's gone. I just hope we can keep our jobs. Interesting. Now why should we be worried about that? What can you tell me about this, Miss Linus? Sorry, I don't have much to say about that. You can't tell me about how you and your sister discovered the body? Okay. What can you tell me about this? I take it she can't tell us much. Oh, I guess we got... Okay. I guess I wasn't done showing her evidence. We can tell me about this, Miss Linus. Sorry, I don't have much to say about that. I guess we can, take a learn the kitchen bullet. But Valentina looks at you a little anxiously. Snooping around might scare her off. You should leave everything you can. You should learn everything you can from her before you examine the kitchen. Did you ever feel like your job was at risk because of Bellwether? Yes, actually. She was actually planning to fire all the staff. All of the staff? That can't be true, can it? The academy needs the staff to function. I'm not sure about the details. That's just what Jan told us. Who's Jan? He's one of the academy's custodians. You can probably find him cleaning the halls if you look around. Celeste, this room was close to the crime scene. Could you detect magic and scan for magical traces? Sure. Did he just say scan for magical traces? I'll just get out of your way then. Wow, she just bolted out of the room. What was that about? Huh. Oh, it's a plate of bread. You probably serve these asides to the entrees. I'm getting ideas, Tyrion. What? It's not like I'm hungry or anything. Did we eat this morning? I am hungry. Remember when we went to that fancy restaurant? You just kept ordering breadsticks and butter. The bread is free. I might as well take advantage of it. You know, eating that many carbs isn't good for you. Yeah. Several commonly used ingredients to close to the cooking area. There are a rack of cooking implements that hang on from the wall. Valentina must used to cook for the student. There's a large cooking station here. They must prepare the meals in bulk here. There's a set of pots for cooking soups and the likes. There must be a large sack of produce in the corner. There's some wine here too. That must be for the professors. There must be several students' meals on this plate. It's a shame that they had to close the kitchen due to investigation. Man, I'm hungry. It's a barrel full of some sort of drink. I wonder. It's probably not Lotus Juice Celeste. Why was she so anxious about this? There's no magic. Unless. Not seeing any magic. You spot Valentina again. She's speaking with someone in a blue-collared uniform. Could he be the custodian she mentioned? Jan, where have you been? You still haven't fixed the plumbing in the kitchen sink. Oh, someone just died. Can we take the day off for once? You're causing trouble for me and Valentina. Please be responsible. Wait, why is Valentina speaking with the third person? Oh, hello. Valentina? Oh, my apologies. I can see why you're confused. I'm not Valentina. I'm her sister Valerie. Ah, got it, the twins. Got it. Are you trying to trick us or something? You look exactly the same! Celeste, have you never met identical twins before? You remember reading about something like this before. You two are identical twins, aren't you? You're both genetically identical to each other. Yes, we are. Wait, this means that she was the one who discovered the body alongside Valentina. Since we have you here, do you mind if I ask you some questions about what happened? I'm terribly sorry, but I've already spent a lot of time looking for Jan here. I've been really behind on my work, but Jan was also nearby when we discovered the body. I'm sure he can answer your questions. Before you have a chance to object, Verily quickly walks away. Wait! Do you want me to go after her? I'm pretty sure I can catch up with her. No, we don't want to scare those two more than we already have. Anyways, Valentina said Jan was around when the murder happened. Maybe he saw something. Jan Hughes. Jan, was it? Do you mind if we ask you some questions about what happened? Ugh, really? Oh, whatever. At least I have an excuse to take a break now. First things first. No magic! Got it. It's the entrance to lecture hall. The door says that it's lecture hall 2H. Entrance to F. The entrance to the lecture hall. This one says it's lecture 2D. It's lecture 2B. That's the lecture hall where Bellaworth's body was found. Alright, let's talk. So, Jan, are you part of the staff here? Yep, I'm a janitor. I clean and I do odd jobs here and there. What do you mean by odd jobs? Well, apparently he has a little say about that. Well, Marie mentions that you were close to Lecture 2B before they found Bellwether. What were you doing when the twins discovered the body? Hey, the well another walked over a Nace, and there were shards of dirt everywhere. Wait, you saw the professor before the twins arrived? Yeah, like I said, she broke the vase right in this hallway. It was probably 20 minutes or 30 before the twins found the body. You might have been the last person to see her alive. Do you see where she went after breaking the vase? Yeah, I think we went into that room over there. Jack points to the lecture hall. Found it. Wow, wow. Did you see anyone else in the lecture hall? I'm honestly not sure. I was more worried about creating the best she made. Well, did you notice anything off about her? She was in a pretty bad mood. Honestly, that's noble for her. She was walking really slow. And she basically shut me out of her way. After that, she knocked over the vase. I didn't even say anything after that, but she yelled at me to be quiet. Did you see where she went after that? Not really, but only thing in that direction is lecture hall 2B. I can't imagine her going anywhere else. What can you tell me about Catherine Bellwether? I've heard that she has a pretty bad relationship with the serf. She has a bad relationship with everyone. I can't think of many people actually did get along with her. I'm sure you had your own share of bad experience. I'm sure you had your own bad experiences with her. Yeah, she's always yelling at me when I take too long to get a job done. I hate to say it, but things are a little more peaceful around without her. That's blunt, to say the least. But you can't exactly blame him for thinking that. What can you tell me about this, Mr. Hughes? I don't know. That's not my department. He's not very helpful. Wait. What can you tell me about this, Mrs. Hughes? I don't know. Really, I just hope we don't lose our jobs to those constructs. Right, Valentina mentioned something similar. You wonder if he meant by that. Valentina mentioned something interesting. Did you tell her that Bellwether was going to fire the academy staff? Yeah, I remember that. What made you think she was going to do something like that? You know those kids. Bellwether was the one who ordered them. Oh yeah, they're so cool. Well, a few weeks ago, I overheard a meeting that she was having with the headmaster. From what I heard, she was planning to order more constructs and entirely replace the staff. Oh. Well, I'm sure that the headmaster rejected her proposal. I don't know. The way she was talking sounded like she didn't have a say in the matter. But only the headmaster would have the authority to fire the staff. Why would she be that confident? Don't know. All I know is that she hates having the common folk in school, even among the staff. She was really well. I heard her common folks from the community center. Are you aware of the foul smell in Lecture Hall 2B? Yeah. Luckily, Area isn't letting everyone into Lecture Hall until the investigation's over. But I'll probably have to get to it eventually. Aquilo passes are always paying up. I'm not looking forward to that. I wonder if Arya can help me out like she used to. Wait, do you personally know Prosecutor Sealwyn? She studied here a few years ago. She always helped me out using her magic. I missed that. There was a lot to give and take among coworkers. Wait, hold on. Are you friends with the Lana sisters? I wouldn't say we're friends exactly, but we do work together a lot. There was a lot to give and take among coworkers. Us kind of folks gotta stick together after all. After a while, we made a system to worry each other. Oh, it was. Bellwether was kind of a menace here, wasn't she? Man, I still can't believe someone off to Bellwether. Still a little too unreal. I'm sure that he has some mixed feelings about what happened. Yeah, I feel like I should be happy. Honestly, I don't know what to feel. It's easier not to think about it. Yeah, it's great. I owe him a lot getting me this job, but I still suppose these never seem to last. He must be talking about Bella's plan to fire the staff. What can you tell me about this, Mrs. Hughes? Oh! 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 I didn't even mean to leave! I guess there was nothing more that Hughes could have told me. My life is over. Wallace? Who are you? What do you want? Wallace, it's Lesson Tyrion. From the library, remember? Oh, right. How are you doing? Apparently not well. Please tell me you're going to get me out of here. I keep telling them that I didn't do it, but they still won't let me go. Sorry, Wallace, but they found traces of necromancy magic on the body. And because of that, they're going to push your case to trial. What? Is it going to execute me? This can't be happening. The boss calls again. I can't breathe. Please, calm down. We know you're innocent. With that said, would you let me represent you in court? Oh, right. You said that you're a lawyer. But I don't really have any money to pay you with. Don't worry about that. For now, let's just focus on getting you acquitted. You can pay me later. We'll talk about payment plans later. Miss Tomia told me that I should be careful with who I let as my clients because I should make sure that they have money. But okay, look, I don't need 2 bodyguards. I mean, what if something happens to Celeste? Don't worry, tell. We'll get you worked out. What? Does they seriously want to help me? No, they want something from me, but well, I guess it doesn't matter anyways. It's not like I have anything else to lose. It's not exactly the reaction you're expecting, but at least he's cooperating. Wait, can you tell me about this, Wallace? Sorry, I can't tell you much about that. Wallace can't tell us shit. Great. Not personally. I only saw them when I got food in the cafeteria, but I could tell that they were both scared of me. They always did their best to avoid talking to me. I still can't believe this professor is actually dead. Yeah, we just saw her this morning. But you don't actually feel bad about it, do you? No, it's fine. We saw firsthand she treated you. No one can blame you for feeling that way. It still doesn't feel real. What can you tell me about this, Wallace? Sorry, I can't tell you much about that. I don't understand. I was with you in the library the entire time, but why did they still think I'm the murderer? It makes so sense, unless you told the Inquisition, right? Did you tell them that I'm innocent? Did they frame me? Well, we did, but as we said before, there's traces of necromancy on the body. And with the state of the body, they believe that she was murdered with a necromancy spell. Apparently, that's what makes you their prime suspect. I see. Wallace, we heard about the type of magic that you're studying. Don't worry. The headmaster explained it to us already. You just want to use necromancy to become a doctor, right? I understand that you have reservations about talking about your magic, but in order to build a case for you, I need your spell comptimonium. I don't have one. I know. Eris already told us that. That's why she gave us a blank one for you to atone to. Do I have to? It's your life on the line. And we need all the information we can get to help you. Sorry. You're right. I'll tune to it. Presentation. We already know that one. Men wounds. The heals the wound on the target over casting time. Wounds on the targets are magically healed without leaving any scars or bruises. The spell can't restore any missing limbs, nor can it revive someone who has already died. Place the illusion on the target completely changes their official appearance. The disguise moves the target for duration. The disguise can make it look like the feats one larger or smaller. Elements that are hidden by the spell are made invisible. The ability can create spell purely visible. Revive. The floods of energy results may vary. Cannot dictate someone who's been dead for more than a minute. Enemy corpses. Okay. Necronym Blake. You understand the reason why he's studying this type of magic, but the spells in his commentary are still pretty gruesome. It's a little terrifying that the spells like this even exist. Sorry, I know I was being difficult. A long time ago, I showed my continuity to someone I trusted. After she saw my necromancy spells, she told everyone in the academy. I saw someone impress a bellwether started coming after me. So sorry, that must have been hard for you. But at least you had Eris. Yeah, I did. How did you and Eris become friends anyways? Another hint of fear from her. Her fears related to Eris. Oh, it's a bit of a strange story. Some of the other students would steal the ID number off my locker. That's when they switched it with another one on another locker. They thought it was funny whenever the owner got angry with me. Eris had a bit of a reputation around school. I'm not sure why, but everyone is scared of her. Even the students from the nobility. It's probably due to some baseless rumors. One day, someone switched my nameplate with hers. I was so scared when she approached me, I couldn't even say anything. But she didn't get angry like the others. She just apologized and gave me back my nameplate. After that, she randomly started talking to me whenever she saw me. We became friends after that. That's nice. It was a good thing he was able to find a friend in a place like that. So I have to ask, if it caused you so much trouble, why are you studying necromancy? I want to use it to become a doctor. The headmaster told us the same thing, but you could have just stopped after learning the healing spells. Why are you learning spells that could steal people's life force and raise the undead? Life and death are two sides of the same coin. That's the key principle behind necromancy. To understand the undead, fail to attempt to resurrect the human using magic. Wow, I never knew that. Right now, basic necromancy can only heal injuries and wounds, but it can do anything for diseases or disability. If I could just keep studying, I know I could create a new type of necromancy. One that can cure diseases and save lives. He especially wants to cure diseases. Did something happen to him to motivate him that much? I think I can already guess the answer to this question, but how is your relationship with Catherine Bellwether? It's exactly what you expect. After the word got out I was studying, Professor Bellwether would always target me. She started yelling at me for the smallest mistakes. She'd do some sort of the other students too, but she focused on the ones that were poor like me. That's terrible. I wake up each day dreading the possibility that she'd notice me in the hallways. I knew how to avoid her instead of her way, but sometimes she'd just come looking for me. I can't believe after everything she did, she's just gone. You must have missed emotions of what happened. I honestly don't know how to feel about it. To be honest, I always wished she could just disappear. But now that it finally happened, I feel even more afraid. I feel like if she's going to come back from the grave to haunt me. But with Bellwether gone, his trauma will probably still linger. I think I'm starting to put things together now. Have you figured something out? Yeah, it just needs to take some time to think through everything. The prosecution wants to implicate Wallace despite his alibi. They wouldn't have a reason to do this unless the evidence heavily implicated him. We learned that Wallace is a necromancer, and he's the only person who to get him is capable of high-level necromancy. There's a trace of necromancy on the body. That means that they think Wallace is the one who used his necromancy spells. Even with not seeing the traces, it's obvious that the magic was used on the body. Right, because there aren't many wounds on it. That's our response, and no signs of poison or disease. They probably say like he'll use a necromantic blade. That makes sense. Necromancy would drain life force from her body. But that's where the contradiction lies. Let's suppose Wallace did kill Bellwether using magical blades. There was something at the crime scene that wouldn't be there if it was true. Necroblading doesn't affect any visible wounds. There shouldn't have been any blood on the body. But then what really happened? That's the last piece. And if that had to guess, the information we need is hidden in one of the witnesses who discovered the body, the Latina. She's definitely hiding something. Did you notice how she reacted when I asked you to scan the room? Yeah, she ran away. Didn't even try to be subtle about it. Was that how she acted? I think she may have been trying to hide herself from you detect magic, which can only mean that there's magical traces on her. I wonder how she's trying to hide it. There's only one way to find out. Next time you see her, could you subtly cast detect magic and scan her? All right. It's been a while since you talked to her. Valerie also mentioned that they still had work to do. She might be back in the academy kitchen now. Those two are finally gone. I can finally get some cleaning done. Okay, there she is. Use detect magic to scan her from here. Right. Just don't shut the incantation like you always do. I know that. Alright, here goes. Repario Arcadium. What the? What is it? There's a trace of magic on her. I knew it. Which school of magic is it? It's necromancy. There's trace of necromancy on her. What? What do we do now? You still not sure how it fits with everything. For now, let's talk to her and see if we can get more information out of her. If all fails, we confront her with evidence we have. Oh! It's you two again! They're back! Oh, okay, just relax. All you have to do is repeat them when you told them last time. Unfortunately for her, that won't work this time. Miss Lannis, do you know that there's a trace of necromancy on the Bellwether's body? That's what he used to kill the professor, right? A necromancy spell. That's the thing. If that was true, a lot of evidence we found doesn't make sense. I think someone else cast a spell on the body. Is it possible that you saw someone use magic on Bellwether? No, definitely not. Calm down. There's no way they know. Her thoughts are an open book now. If you beat her in an argument, her thoughts might just show what she's hiding. She found some. When you mentioned something that having magic on the body, what is she hiding? Yes. honest, from the very beginning, I felt like you've been hiding something from us. There's something that you're not telling us about. Well, what are you talking about? My conscience is clear. I told you the night's everything I know. I got nothing to hide. Is more concerned with protecting herself than doing the right thing. She'll continue to hide her secrets unless she thinks she's doing that. She sees. Listen, it's clear to anyone how nervous you are. I can practically see the fear you're admitting now. Just tell us the truth. It's a lot easier for the both of us. Let's say I was hiding something, which I'm not, by the way. Why should I tell you anything? I have rights. Okay, so definitely not appeal. You've already given your statement to the Inquisition. If that's the truth comes out, what do you think they'll do when you realize you lied to them? Who are you protecting, Miss Lannis? You're talking a big game, but I bet you actually can't prove anything, can you? I think you're lying to protect someone. I don't even know any mages. I definitely didn't see anyone use magic on the body. Miss Honest, you know someone capable of casting magic, and it's. Wait. You can't hide the truth from us, Miss Lannis. Well, what? You said you never seen any necromancy spell before. If that was true, then why is there a trace of necromancy on you? Wait, what? That's a lot. There's a trace of necromancy on me? What? What? Did she not know about the spell that was cast on her? No, that doesn't make any sense. If she didn't know about the trace, she wouldn't have avoided Celeste back then. There must be an explanation for this. You successfully argued against Valentina on this. This is crazy. Why is there a trace of necromancy on me? Am I going to die? Am I going to become a zombie? That's strange. Is she really unaware that the spell was casted on her, or is she playing dumb? She knows someone used magic on her, but she doesn't know what spell was necromancy. I'm confused. Why doesn't Valentina know the spell necromancy? Probably the spell cast. Hmm. That looks like necromancy. Hmm. I am very confused. Mm. I calm down, Miss Island. Not all necessary spells relate to the undead. Healing spells are also from the school of necromancy. Healing spells? Oh, was that from the time she healed that cut? That implies she knows a mage who studies healing magic. Could that person be a student here? So sorry, I just remembered that there's something else I have to do. I'll be right back. Hey, come back here! Ugh, she ran away again. I can't catch her. There's no way she can outrun me. No, the Inquisition is still stationed around the surrounding areas. They'd probably intervene if we started harassing one of the witnesses. Ugh, that's true. But we weren't able to learn anything. Actually, I did learn one thing. She has a friend who cast a healing spell on her. Really? How did you figure that out? Good deductive reasoning. Wow. Healing magic is also a form of necromancy, right? I guess that explains the traces on her. That's a good thing we know Wallace. Otherwise, we also might have started necromancer was trying to kill her. Wait a minute. That's it! What? Did you figure something out? This whole time we've been wondering why there's a trace of necromancy on the body. Is it because someone attacked Belle while there was a necromancy spell? It's because someone tried to use a necromancy and attempt to heal her. Oh, I see. It doesn't matter what type of necromancy spell someone uses. Spells from the same school of magic leave the same type of trace. It's not just that. The body clearly has blood on it. What would happen if someone used a healing spell on a wounded body? It would close up all the body's wounds. In other words, it would remove any cuts or bruises. Well, then, interrogating Veritina may have been a dead end, but it still gave us what we needed to in this case. I'm not so sure that was a dead end. What do you mean? It's not suspicious that she asked someone to heal her if she was injured herself, But it's not only that. Why would you go to so much trouble to hide it? It's too confidential. If the wounds of the body were healed by an unknown person, and the person who found the body is hiding the identity of a healer, it has to be the same person. I guess that makes sense. So what do we do now? Valentina is definitely onto us. I doubt we'll get us our chance to speak with her. Hopefully, what we do know is enough to quit to Alice. You've done everything you can. Unless what you learned is it pokes holes in the prosecution case. And if that doesn't work, you bring Tina and the witness stand and pull them out of the truth out of her. Just hope that what she isn't hiding enough to quit Alice. I demand to speak while you're still holding my rapier here. It's a precious family heirloom, and I want it back. It's evidence in the current case. Evidence. The professor was killed using it with necromancy. Was she though? Why are you asking me? You're the one who investigated. You're investigating this. I suppose it doesn't matter. Just know that I will bring her murderer to justice, no matter who it may be. Yes. We'll save here and call it a day. Now, chat. This is where we're ending for tonight. And it may be a little bit before we pick this up again. So, because would I be playing this next Tuesday? No, because of Turnabout Christmas. Turnabout Christmas is the best event of my year. It's like my second favorite because honestly, let's face it, nothing can beat Extra Life. Extra Life will always be my top favorite event I do every year. You cannot stop it. I demand nothing. I demand. So yes, I will be back Saturday for something. Just not sure what that something is yet. We don't know yet. But what I do know is that we will be back with it. And then as per usual, I will be taking, after Turnabout Christmas, I take the rest of the year off for streaming. So we are actually going to be returning to this on January 2nd. That's a long time. So hope you guys remember the details. Don't worry, the VOD will be uploaded to YouTube, but probably sometime next week. I'm just waiting on some art before I start making the thumbnails. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. And I have a very special someone in whom we're gonna raid! Pray tell they are still alive. We are gonna raid! And I finally get to say this after so long. We gotta go raid Buffa! Buffa 17! She's back to streaming! I'm so happy for her. So, I'll see you guys. I'll see you